And here it is. We go again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to more. Here it is. We go again. I just put up the notice for this session, by the way, not that long ago. So I don't expect that much of a crowd. But if you are available, please do avail yourself of the session. That thing that happens twice a day, the first installment are happening right now. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 ATIKU. Another Savior, holy, 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 ATIKU.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your decay, Abika Kokwanam no. Hey, Anamekele Mazuche me for one memo. It's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Amotekun, it's another Savior. Gonna sing along, holy, 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 Amotekun, it's another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 it's another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 it's another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right, holy, holy, it's another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Amotekun, it's another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 ATIKU. Another Savior, holy, 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 ATIKU.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your decay, Abika Kokwanam no. Hey, Anamekele Mazuche me for.
So there it is right there, the Holy Holy song from the farmyard singers from the eastern part of Nigeria. Holy, holy, as Grace, I bring you this. Allow Amotekun corps to carry weapons. Afenifere renews calls. So I think we were just speaking about this just the other day, that as bad as that incident in a war is, it actually lends weight to the proper weaponization of Amotekun, to at least, because you cannot say that people do not have the right to protect themselves. This Malam Buhari person, his clansmen across it, they are saying that all these are people that committed that atrocity in Owo. They were Malians. So they've crossed the vast swathe of the Sahel to cross through the northern parts of Nigeria to end up in Yoruba land and commit this heinous crime. Even if Amotekun was alerted, how would they have responded to AK-47 and bomb-wielding Fulani men? So this is the question, and the answer is what the Amotekun, is what the Afenifere group is saying about the Amotekun space yet again. These people have to be properly equipped in order to put up a fighting chance to defend their own people. Allow Amotekun corps to carry weapons. Afenifere renews calls. It's almost an inevitability that that will have to be the case. There's no argument to counter that should be the case anymore, except, of course, Buhari is insisting that he's opening that window for his people to come and colonize Yoruba land, because they are coming, they are here already, and they are heavily armed, and they are coming with intent. So sitting dog, I just go and shoot them. They're essentially just lining up people and shooting them, aren't they, with no form of defense. So that call for Amotekun now to be weaponized, this is something that is just something, its time has come. That's just as simple as it is. Its time has come. So its time has come. But this guy again, Atiku Abubakar, he revisits a lot of the narrative that he fleshed out in 2019. So if he's revisiting it, then that tells you that that is a policy position that he firmly believes in. But do you believe in it is the question. Atiku moves privatizing refineries, rail, TCN in 3-point agenda. So this was one of the talking points that he canvassed around in 2019, that the refineries should be privatized, NNPC should be privatized, and all of these government-run organizations that they give nothing to the national coffers, they take a lot from the national coffers, and they give nothing to the people. Take the refineries, for instance. It's budgeted for heavily in billions of dollars. It doesn't refine anything. It's not fit for purpose. And every single year, another set of billions of dollars is budgeted to this space. So what purpose for the people is that serving? The railway system also is not something that is government-run. It's never government-run in any civilized country, even a country uncivilized, because the government has no business running business. And Nigeria, a real classic example of that idiom, so of that knowledge, really. So the government has no business running business. That's just a cut, because government is not obliged to make a profit. Whether they make a profit or not, nobody pays attention to that, and they don't really run anything functionally in any real way. So that's just it. Government essentially, at its purest form, should be regulators, and this seems to be the philosophy that underpins Atiku's outlook. Atiku moves privatizing refineries, rail, TCN in 3-point agenda. So now that we know who the runners and riders are, they are now starting to flesh out their positions. So we are now at that phase now where we're starting to find out and then discuss the policy thrust of these people that purport to want to govern us. So that is the stance of so that is the stance. So I just saw a headline now that I'm going to read to you as well. So that is the stance now of the I've lost that train of thought. So we have passed the phase of canvassing for our flag bearers, is what I was intending to say. So we are now at that phase of perusing their policies, philosophies, and ideological thrust in order to make a more informed decision as to who best governs the Nigerian state. So ATIKU leads the way now by fleshing out his presenting his policy thrust to the Nigerian space, and privatization essentially what he seems to want to anchor his campaign on. So privatization. So we see just what that means and how we are digesting it. So we touched on this story somewhat yesterday, but we'll expand on it in a bit more detail today. Magnanimity in victory is something that people like to see. Tinubu pays surprise visit to Osinbajo. So there it is right there. A lot of people made a lot of hue and cry as to how Tinubu responded when he met Osinbajo on a rostrum. But you have to understand that the moment was fresh of victory and the battle was hard fought, but either haven't been advised or through his own volition, he's now back on stream and doing exactly as people would expect. Magnanimity in victory is something that people like to see, and Tinubu takes his cue from there. From that, Tinubu pays surprise visit to Osinbajo. So there it is right there. It's just close that chapter so that you can focus fully then on ATIKU. So this is the story that made me pause a moment ago. This I just saw now as I was reading out the headlines. Nigerian High Court sentences killers of Afenifere leader, fashion artist daughter, to death. So there it is right there, crime and punishment. So hopefully they've not caught the wrong people. Hopefully these are the right people that did this heinous crime. And then, of course, they pay the ultimate price. I recoil often from a death sentence, but in this instance, I shall suspend my libertarian views because the excesses of these people has to be met with equal measure. Nigerian High Court sentences killers of Afenifere leader, fashion artist daughter, to death. So there it is right there, crime and punishment. But do you concur with that punishment is the question. So this now an age-old story within the Nigerian space. It's just something that a lot of us can relate to. Malpractice. WAEC arrests supervisors in Lagos, Kano, Bayelsa, others. So this is the thing now, packaging yourself into the exam hall, tying something into your socks, hiding something in the toilet, looking over somebody's shoulder, all of that, to bribing the supervisors as well. This is somewhat norm within the Nigerian educational system, and it looks as though the crackdown has now begun. Malpractice, WAEC arrest supervisors in Kano, Lagos, Bayelsa, others. So nobody can claim to be either alarmed or shocked. Well, you can be alarmed, but not surprised by that, because every single one of us, no matter what generational loop you're in, we all know this as a decimal that recurs within the Nigerian political space. I have chosen a running mate for 2023 presidential election. Name in my pocketbook. Tinubu, of course, hitting the ground running. But some of the faces that go with these assertions, they are somewhat Muslim. So he's not especially seemingly paying attention to that agitation that there should be no Muslim ticket. I have chosen a running mate for 2023 presidential election. Name in my pocketbook, Tinubu holding the space. So there it is. That's the menu. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, click on the like button if you please, because we're trying to push hard on the YouTube algorithm, and that like button helps in a long way. So helps us go a long way. So click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button as well as you are clicking on the like button if you're not already subscribed. So those two buttons, they are mandatory buttons that you must, anytime you come on this platform, you must click on the like button as a matter of must. So as you're logging on, just click on the like button so that when I'm checking, I feel encouraged that, the effort is somewhat being appreciated. So click on the like button and then click on the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. That is just a once in a lifetime click. Once you've clicked on the subscribe button once, you never have to click on that button again. So click on those two buttons, and then at your discretion, if you want to come and join me on the screen, click on this hyperlink that says StreamYard. If you click on this hyperlink that I'm posting in the comment section now, it brings you into a studio space. And then as soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and engage you in a conversation around the talking points. So that is how it works. It's an open microphone session, and the open microphone is the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So 3 clicks, one, the like, which is compulsory. And if you're not already subscribed, the subscribe button, which is also compulsory. And then the hyperlink that says StreamYard, that is at your discretion if you feel like you want to come join me on the screen. As we set about the clickings though, let me provide you with a little bit of a liquid inducement. Your calabash to the ready as we join. Okay, guys.
Water, only water,
only water, where they see ma. Water,
only water, where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí àkẹ́kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Bobby Master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonama ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. Iku Koniriu Agweshe, may death have nothing to do with us. Iku Koniriu Agweshe, as guys, I bring you this. Allow Amotekun corps to carry weapons. Afenifere renews calls. So, pardon me. Afenifere renews calls. Pan-Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere yesterday renewed the call on the federal government to allow the Southwest Security Network, codenamed Amotekun Corps, to carry sophisticated weapons. The group said that the attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, on June the 5th would have been averted if Amotekun Corps had good weapons. Afenifere's acting leader, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, renewed the call when he led a delegation of group to the let me take that again. Let me take that entirely all over again. Pan-Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere yesterday renewed the call on the federal government to allow the Southwest Security Network, codenamed Amotekun Corps, to carry sophisticated weapons. The group said the attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, on June the 5th would have been averted if Amotekun Corps had good weapons. Afenifere's acting leader, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, renewed the call when he led a delegation of the group to a sympathy visit to Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. He said the terrorist planned attack would have been detected if the state was in total control of security within its jurisdiction. The elder statesman described the attack as an affront on Yoruba land. So that is no, actually, that's not all of it. At the palace of Oluwo of Owo, Oba Ajibade Gbadegeshin Adebanjo urged the monarch to enlist the support of his fellow Obas to tackle the situation. The group donated 1.5 million naira to the church and victims of the attack. Akeredolu urged Afenifere to engage the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to factor the issues raised by the group into his program when a new government comes on board next year. Also yesterday, another group, Yoruba Ronu, urged security agencies to fish out perpetrators of the attack and prevent reoccurrence in any part of the country. Its chairman, Prince Diron Inyotan, said footages of the gruesome killing of slain children and women in their pool of blood was saddening. So the main thrust of this, of course, is the weaponization of Amotekun. Almost an inevitability now. You see, it's almost an inevitability now. Yeah, so I'm just in another headline attributed to the Bauchi State Governor. It says, Amotekun's success makes restructuring imperative. So says Governor of Bauchi State. But back to the main point. What happened in Ondo State makes the fully weaponizing and full structuring of Amotekun almost an inevitability now. And they should latch on to now this incident to really push hard at that space, because if a short enough of a long enough of a period of time elapses, then this narrative then will just die as another incident. But if they can leverage it to push for the weaponization of Amotekun and bring that to the front burner and push it hard, we may well get that breakthrough to have security protection for the Southwest. So from that to this, ATIKU moves privatizing refineries, rail, TCN in 3-point agenda. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Abubakar Atiku, has rolled out a 3-point agenda targeting privatization of refineries, rail sector, the transmission company of Nigeria, and breaking monopoly of all other infrastructure operations. According to his tweet on Thursday, Atiku said his economic agenda has a comprehensive objective of providing a more hospitable environment for businesses to thrive and create jobs and wealth for Nigerian citizens. And to achieve this, I have 3 guiding principles to go by, he stated. The first is his reaffirmation of the criticality of private sector leadership and greater private sector participation in development. Whilst doing this, he also hopes to reposition the public sector to focus on its core responsibility of facilitation and enabling the oh God Almighty. How many times have I preached this same mantra? It's almost word for word what I've always said, that government has no business in business. Let me take that paragraph again. The first is, I might well vote for this guy, you know. The first is his reaffirmation of the criticality of private sector leadership and greater private sector participation in development. Whilst doing this, he also hopes to reposition the public sector to focus on its core responsibility of facilitation and enabling the appropriate legal and regulatory framework for rapid economic and social development. He said his second economic agenda is to break government monopoly in all infrastructure sectors, including the refineries, rail transportation, and power transmission, and give private investors a larger role in funding and managing these sectors, thus emulating the benefits accrued in the oil and gas and telecom sectors. The third agenda of the PDP presidential flag bearer and former vice president of Nigeria is to allow the market greater leverage in determining prices. He said this will eliminate the persistent price distortion occasioned by current interventionist exchange rate management policy. Government intervention, where absolutely necessary, will be done responsibly and judiciously. Correspondents report that the concept of public infrastructure privatization became visible under former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Vice President ATIKU, a policy that saw the liberalization of the telecom sector as well as the housing sector. It's just a no-brainer, really. Of course, I say it's a no-brainer, but then, of course, I stick by it's a no-brainer because Malam Buhari has no brain. But this is something that any government that seeks to wants to improve or move their country forward has to necessarily do. The only role of government, any government, is to regulate. Government has no business running railway. That is a private enterprise. Government has no business running refineries. That is a private enterprise. The only thing that government has to do is to ensure a level playing field and to ensure that the citizens get the maximum benefits from all of the resources that is vested within their own land, so that they make sure they collect as much of the taxes as they can possibly from these people and still regulate that they manage the price to affordability. That is where government's role is. Government has no business running an NPC. Government has no business running railway. Government has no business running anything. Government has no business running business. That's just it. It's quite basic and simple, but there it is right there. So ATIKU now takes the lead just from that policy fleshing out that is just done. Running mate in my pocket, Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, says his choice of running mate is in his pocketbook. Okay. Tinubu said this when he visited President Mohamed Buhari at the State House, Abuja. Sorry, this article breaks up in chunks. That's it. Let me see if I can read it from a different spot because I've got it twice. So let me read it from this space because they don't have too much adverts on this particular website. I have chosen a running mate for 2023 presidential election. Name in my pocketbook, Tinubu. APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu has revealed that he already has a running mate for the 2023 presidential election. He stated this after being hosted on Thursday night by President Buhari at the State House in Abuja. Speaking to State House correspondents after the meeting, Mr. Tinubu said he had the name of a presidential vice candidate penned down. When asked who his running mate would be, the former Lagos State governor stated, "I won't tell you that. That is my right. It is in my pocketbook." There are speculations that Mr. Tinubu will pick one of the northern governors instrumental in his hard-fought emergence as the APC presidential candidate. The names mentioned include governors of Kaduna, Jigawa, Kebbi, Plateau, amongst others. So he has jettisoned then necessarily this idea of a no Muslim ticket. And I don't really think that will be too much of a problem because where the agitation for that religious bent comes from is most fervent within Yoruba land. So the people that usually push that no Muslim, Christian. We've never had a Christian, but certainly no Muslim ticket. That language is most fervent within Yoruba land. But if they have one of their own sons running with a very good chance of being president, I think they would just move that narrative to one side for a moment to allow it. They will let it slide in this instance, I suspect. The APC presidential candidate commended Mr. Buhari for providing a level playing field during the party's presidential primary election. Mr. Tinubu recalled that the president had promised many times that he would support the democratic process. He promised the whole country and the world that he will build a legacy of transparency and consistency, a legacy of a level playing ground for all aspirants. he will be committed to democratic principles and values, and he did so, explained Mr. Tinubu. He didn't endorse anyone. He didn't impose anybody. He did not at any time attempt to tinker with the process of this election to favor one tribe or the other. He was steadfast. He was trustworthy. He was dependable. He was a leader. The presidential candidate was accompanied on the visit by Governor, guess which governor it is? His man Friday, his bag carrier, of course. The presidential candidate was accompanied on the visit by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State and Wale Tinubu. So he's brought his son into play. Mr. Tinubu emerged winner of the APC presidential primary election held at Eagle Square, Abuja, between June the 7th and June the 8th. He garnered 1,271 votes to defeat his closest rival, Rotimi Amechi, and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and they give you the details of what they scored. Mr. Buhari had on June the 8th congratulated Mr. Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections. Having emerged victorious, he has our full and unwavering support. Now our party must unite behind our candidates to achieve victory at the 2023 election so that our government will continue to secure our communities, grow our economy, and continue to fight against corruption, the president stated. So there it is right there. So there it is right there. So let me go back now to the sequence again. So let me give you this one. I may not give you all of the headlines that I read out, or I may, because I think there's sufficient enough of what has already been read out to have a conversation around. Nigerian High Commission sentences killers of Afenifere leader fashion artist daughter to death. 3 persons have been sentenced to death by the Ondo State High Court after they were found guilty of the murder of Funke Olakunrin. The deceased is the daughter of Chief Reuben Fashionati, the leader of the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization Afenifere. He turned 96 in May 2022. She was attacked and killed by gunmen on July the 12th, 2019, between Kajola and Ore, along Ondo-Ore Road in Ondo State. On Friday, the presiding judge, Justice William Olamide, sentenced the convicts, Awalu Abubakar, Mohammed Shehu, and Adamu, to death. They were found guilty of the crime of murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. After Olakunrin's death in 2019, the then Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, deployed the Commissioner of Police in charge of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Adeoye, to find her killers. After months of search, the police finally arrested the culprit. After months of search, the police finally arrested the culprits through another operation, which saw the arrest of Abubakar. The arrest of Abubakar led to the arrest of 2 other members of the gang, Mohammed Shehu Usman and Lawal Mazeji in Benin, Edo State. On April the 8th, 2020, the police conducted an identification parade at the Federal SARS headquarters, Lagos, which led to the positive and physical identification of the 3 suspects, Adamu, Lawal Mazaje, and Mohammed Shehu Usman. Investigation revealed that the operation that led to the killing of Olakunrin was carried out by 8 fully armed kidnap/robbery suspects. So there it is right there. Crime and punishment at last within the Nigerian space. So I'm just going to give you this headline and then I'll leave it there and then I'll give you a readout of the WAEC one. Tinubu pays surprise visit to Osinbajo. So this was, actually, let me just give you a little feel of it. The presidential candidate of the governing All Progressive Congress APC, Bola Tinubu, on Thursday evening paid an unscheduled visit to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the latter's Aguda House residence in Abuja. The APC flag bearer also visited President Muhammad Buhari before proceeding to Aguda House. Correspondents reported how Tinubu defeated Oshibajo and 12 others at the just concluded presidential primary of the APC. Mr. Tinubu polled 1,000. So that's it really. So that just gives you a feel of it. So let me read you the WAEC story then, and then see who is available for a conversation. And I hope you guys are thumbing up you are clicking on the like button, as by the way. We need you to do that. Malpractice. WAEC arrests supervisors in Lagos, Kano, Bayelsa, others. The head of Nigerian National Office of West African Examination Council, WAEC, Patrick Oregon, on Thursday, said about 10 supervisors had been arrested for alleged involvement in examination malpractices in the ongoing senior secondary certificate examination. Oregon, who disclosed this during supervision of the examination in 4 centers in Abuja, said the arrests were made in Lagos, Kano, Bayelsa, and Kaduna states. Our major problem lies with the supervisors, as only few of them are reliable, and it is unfortunate these are the supervisors that were nominated by the various state Ministry of Education, and we employed them. We don't have the power to nominate any supervisors on our own. We only made use of credible teachers supplied to us by the ministry. But for a mere pot of porridge, they sell their conscience and allow candidates to come into the examination hall with phones to snap question papers and post them to designated platforms, he said. So this is now the new system of cheating. It's now e-cheating, online cheating, internet cheating. He said some of the supervisors belong to syndicate groups running the platform. The good news is that we catch them and they don't go unpunished, as we are working hand in hand with the Nigerian police. So there it is right there. This is a story as old as time itself within the Nigerian educational space. So there it is right there. Please make sure that you're all thumbed up and ready to go. Ajale Koko, I see you. Babakure, I see you. Thomas, I see you. And War Peace, I see you. So good to have you on board, all gentlemen. So let me take it up first with Babakure and have you speak then on that space. Examination malpractices in Nigeria. What are your experiences of it? I don't expect that you would have practiced it, but I'm sure you would have heard of it in practice. They still not change though, and it will never change, will it, Babakure?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Anyway, well, it is of no surprise anyway, because this thing has been going on for a very long time, and I see that is why our educational system is deteriorating every single day. And right now, there's nothing to write home about our educational system. Though some universities abroad recognize some universities back in Nigeria as well.
Sorry, that was Charles. Please make sure you are muted as you're coming in. Sorry, carry on, Babakure.
So some universities abroad, they still recognize some universities, particularly private universities in Nigeria and federal government universities. So, but issue of malpractices, it has been there for a very long time, but it is even worse now, right? Because before you can even get before you can get 5 credits, you have to work very hard, just credit. But now you just see everybody just having A's.
You know, it surprises. I've noticed that as well. Everybody seems to get an A these days. So exactly. Is it that they are smarter or the exams are easier?
You now wonder how when you were at school, because I did it twice. But now when you see people now, though I'm not as bright as these kids anyway.
But that's the case now. Every generation, the next generation is always smarter. That's just
but now you see that even somebody, nearly everybody, you see them. You see somebody have a 6A1, 2A, and 1B. Then you now wondering. You will now wonder. Is it not this? Is the way the set question is different right now, or what is going on here? Because if you have 30 students in a class, you will have at least 20 of them with A's. And let's just put it this way. Let's just say 15 of them will have A's. For you to have somebody that will go back to school now and rewrite the exam right now, it means that that individual doesn't know what he's doing or she's doing. So it is very funny, very funny, very funny the way work is going on, and even jam, you will see somebody self that you didn't even expect them to even have maybe like 120. By the time the result comes out, you just see them have 200, 280. Even before when you look at OAU, you will see that it is top-notch students in Nigeria that are extraordinarily brilliant. Usually go to OAU, but now those people that when you tell them to even work simple mathematics, that they couldn't even get it.
Back in those days, if you get into OAU, UI, or Unilag, then it's like getting to Harvard or Cambridge or
exactly.
Oxford, yeah.
But now you just see somebody that didn't even know what they are doing. You see them in AUA. When you ask this person, where are you now? I'm in AUA. So what level are you? I am in level 200 level. And
most of them, they can barely read and write.
Exactly. The first part of it is that ask them what course are they taking. They will tell you medicine.
Really?
But before you get to OAU, no, you have to be a genius.
Yes.
Then for you to go to OAU and study medicine, then you must be in Cambridge. But now everything is sloping down.
Yes, you know, Baba Akure, I wonder about that space. And like I said, I wonder if this generation of people, they are just infinitely smarter, or the examination system is a lot easier. And I suspect it may be the combination of the two, because they've changed the educational system to favor the students, but then the students are also smarter. But everybody getting an A is just what
I think one of the things is that you see before in though I was not born in the early 70s, but when you're talking about what I saw in 80s downward, with the way they set the exams, right? You will see that it is much more tougher. Like you are going to university.
They let them bring calculators into exam hall now, which wasn't the case.
Before you cannot do that. You have to work it in your paper.
Yes.
And I think one of the problem we are having here is that in 80s up to maybe like early 90s, the exam was set by West Africa, not Nigeria. Remember, I don't know where WAEC headquarters is now. WAEC headquarters is right now, because it used to be in Ghana. So at that time, it was combination of Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, all this West Africa. They said the question paper, and that is what they use within West Africa. But now I think it's basically in Nigeria right now. I think this paper has been set in Nigeria, while Ghana set their own, and Sierra Leone set their own. I think that is what is going on right now. And
they are dumbing it down so that the Malams can pass an exam.
Exactly. So I want to believe that is the reason that we see all this nonsense that is going on. I'm not disputing.
Remember, Baba Akure, remember, we have NECO. There's another one they call NECO.
NECO, yes. Yeah. I'm not saying that we have some kids that are still brilliant, extraordinarily brilliant, but not just see everybody now go to UI, and what are they taking? They say biochemistry, they say medicine. And these are the people that you don't even when you ask them questions, the way they will answer you, you won't even believe that they've already finished school. And this also goes to the educational system across the board. Right now, when you see people now, you see this one is doctor right now. This one is professor now. This one is this now. And I say, so this how this thing so useless right now that everybody is just getting professor.
You know these people, they somewhat give me an inferiority complex when you hear some 23-year-old guy that has a PhD already, and you're thinking, exactly, how is that even possible?
To me, I don't care about that because I know that most of these things they cannot even defend it. I can tell you, you see, when Wole Soyinka and what's the name of this man that wrote Things Fall Apart?
Chinua
Achebe. Those people, those are the people that I really think that they really work hard, because at that time the education was still in that standard. But not these people that getting their PhD in doctorate degree in late 90s, 2000, and you want to tell me that I don't really care about that. I don't, because I know that.
What examples of examination malpractices do you recall? What I recall is that girls, they used to write some answers on their lap. And then under their skirt. So who's going to ask them to lift up their skirt so that and some people, they will write it, they will hide it in the toilet, and then when they read the questions, they'll ask for a toilet break and then go to the toilet to so all of that.
Some also they will leave their hair like afro, like apparently men. They will leave their hair like afro, so then they will write the answer in the paper and they slot it inside their hair. So there's no way you will be able to find out. So when they get to the exam hall now, then they take it out and they start put it slot inside their. So the issue of malpractice has been there for a very long time. And the funniest part of it is that, like you rightly read it out here, that some of the director or some of the managers don't trust those people that invigilate the exam any longer. The same thing we have with our professors when you're talking about elections. What legacy do they leave when the professor that we think that's supposed to guide the vote,
the integrity of money,
and wrote and just declare somebody that those supposed to win the election? What do you say to that too? So I think our moral system is already gone. So I think we really need to go back to the drawing board and really agree on consensus of the behaviors we want in our society, because what we are hearing every day is getting out of hand, and we cannot achieve anything with all this nonsense.
All right, brilliant. Well put. I agree in totality. So back to the politics of it, or really, is it politics really? So we were all aghast and alarmed and angered when that thing happened to Fashion Otis, our daughter. Of course, we are always upset when anybody gets killed, but the leader of Afenifere, if his own family is not guaranteed safety, then that tells you that nobody is safe in Yoruba land. So they said they have moved and caught the people responsible. The verdict has now come in Baba Akure, and it is a death sentence. So what do you make of that space then? Are you satisfied?
Well, to me, you know my position when you're talking about the issue of death penalty, particularly hanging. I don't really agree with that. Where you can, I know this is a very controversial issue around the world, like issue of death penalties. I'm not in support of that anyway. So, of death penalty, but you can give them life sentence, because sometimes you might give death penalties to somebody, particularly in our judiciary system, where you sentence somebody. Meanwhile, that person was not the person that committed the crime. So how do you see to that? But when you put somebody in prison, it might be long time, maybe life imprisonment. There is not a possibility of parole. Then they will be there. New evidence may come out, and eventually they may be exonerated. Even in the US, that we believe that they do everything nice, everything is perfect, and blah blah blah. A lot of people getting out of jail just because of wrong investigation, and some people are even killed Many years later, they found out that it was not them committed the crime. So I think the issue of death penalty, I'm not really in support of that, but good that okay they find some people that has to pay for the crime. But how are we sure that they arrested the right person? Because
that's where my concern is too. So I share your objection. Sorry, Babakure, I share your objection to death penalty, but I'm happy to make an exemption in this instance. But your concern that did they catch the right person, I share that too. So if they caught the right people, then I don't object in this instance to,
Well, that is true, but how are we sure that they arrested the right people? Because it is Fulani's men attack. The death of that woman is painful to the family and to Yoruba, to Ondo State, to Yoruba land, and to the entire Nigeria. That is how that is my own opinion anyway. I don't know, but that's how I feel.
Baba, do you think that people do you think people really care if they caught the right people, or do you think people are just satisfied to have some Fulani people rounded up and given the death penalty, whether they are the right people or not? They just want to know that some northern people
pay for the crime.
They want to know that some Londoners have been rounded up and they are paying a price. So do you think that people feel that?
I'm going to be in the middle. Some people might be yes, some people might be no. Like me, I'm not really satisfied with that, because how are we sure that they caught the right person?
Yeah, but I'm asking, do you think people care if they are the right people or not, so long as they are northerners?
Well, that's why I'm saying I will not go to that far.
Yeah.
Like me, I know some people will say yes. Winners want that some people are pay for it. Why some people will still say no, out that they will still be talking the way we are talking right now. That how are we sure that they arrest the right person? I'm not going to generalize the whole Yoruba that or the southern part of Nigeria that they follow the same trend. I'm not going to. That's why I'm not going to answer yes. You get what I'm saying? So
no, I do, yeah.
So that's why I'm not going to say yes. So, but how are we sure that they arrested right person?
Baba, correct. If that person confessed to the crime,
mm-hmm.
So if he had confessed to the crime?
How many people in Nigeria confessed to the crime they did not commit? Why they punish them and they torture them to the point of death, and they have to confess to the crime they didn't commit? When you see a police officer using hot iron, place it on your lap or on your chest or at your back, making sure that you confess the crime. Somebody will confess to that the crime you didn't commit. So there is no way we can really agree that they rounded up a right person. They might just let's just maybe they just go to inside one bush and they just find some Fulani's men or who are outside there, and they just rounded them up, even close to that or where the woman was killed. It could be that they just ransacked the whole place and they find some people inside the bush there, and they took them to police station and start interrogating them. So we cannot release. Yes,
Baba, that of Fashionati's daughter, they called the right people. One of them they called was Beati Hala, deputy manager of Ondo.
Okay.
I think it's the Baba. This thing, the Baba. One of their name is Baba something.
Okay.
Yeah, they call the right people. Don't worry about it. They call the right people.
Okay.
If all of them was caught, that is the question. But they called the key people.
No, all of them were not caught because they said they were a gang of 8 and they only got 3.
A gang, yeah. No, yeah, I'm saying if all of them were caught, I don't know. But the guys they caught all those guys. It's the deputy manager of Meetala on those states was arrested in that case. I think it's the Baba something.
Okay,
they caught them.
But the fact is that sometimes when something happens and people are demanding for justice, do you know that sometimes the opinion of
the public?
Excuse me?
I said the opinion of the public.
of public prevail over the right investigation? Because they just want you to. It's just like the way they did to Jesus.
It's a lynch mob, isn't it?
Just give us somebody. That is the public opinion. They want somebody to pay for that crime.
But Baba Akure, if the right people were caught, would you object if you know that it's actually the right people that were caught for that crime? Would you still object that they pay the ultimate price?
Well, they can pay ultimate price, but to me, I see those supposed death penalty. That's fact.
All right. No, you've always said that, so that's fair enough. But at least it's heartening to know that in this instance, some arrests were made, people are presented to court, and they are now paying the price equal to their crime. So crime and punishment. So still within that space of crime and punishment, Baba Akure, the Afenifere group has visited the scene of the crime in Owo, and off the back of that platform, they are re-echoing and pushing even more frontally that Amotekun should be allowed to carry weapons appropriate and suited to the mission that they've been set. So as bad as that incident in Owo was, could it be the catalyst then for Amotekun finally getting proper, fighting boots?
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, I would like them to have a very good weapon. They may not really have enough, because when I was home back last year in November last year, I saw them with guns, but not all of them. So, and I think they should, because this type of job is very dangerous and delicate. So I think they should have a good weapon, good vehicles, and they should recruit more of those who really want to, because they cannot compel you to join. Those who really want to sacrifice themselves, okay, well, I want to do this, and they should give them proper training and proper ammunition, proper anything that they really wanted to fight this menace. I think I go with that. It is a very good thing to do. That is my take on that.
But do you think the Buhari government would yield to this, or would they just wait it out? They have this habit, Buhari, no matter what the incident is, he will just keep quiet because he knows a week down the line, another big incident would take over that noise space. So do you think the Afenifere space, the Yoruba space, should hold to that position and continue to beat that drum until they beat weapons out of the Nigerian federal state?
I think if like you said, if Afenifere they put pressure on them, I think they will eat to read. If they constantly, though he has limited time, he might also as well just postponing until when he leave the power. But they been Afenifere have been working closely together in unison since all this while. I think they will have achieved a better thing. So then they will have got ammunition, got all the proper equipment that Amotekun really wanted. Remember, it took a lot of effort before they allowed them to even form the Amotekun. So I think if they put more pressure on them, I think they should be able to. And with what happened in Ondo State, and it is glaring to the whole world now that no, this is getting out of hand. In as much that the Pope, because all the news came out of nearly every international TV. So I think with this, I think they should be able to. They will be able to bow down to the prayer and allow them to have the proper weapon to fight these people.
Do you think if they grant the license to Amotekun to weaponize properly suited to the job that has been tasked them?
Yes.
Do you think that is the first step then towards this restructuring? Is this restructuring via the back door?
Well, that could be as well be, but I think something is going to happen in 2023. I don't know anyway, but I am seeing that Nigeria is going to be restructured.
It's almost inevitable, isn't it? Really,
that is it, because that is what, even across from the north to the south, that is the noise everybody have been making, and we never can tell. Maybe that is the plan, but maybe that is one of the plan of Tinubu if he eventually win the election, because we are not really certain, based on the fact that he's getting his advice from the north.
You see, Tinubu is not going to restructure Nigeria. You know, the only person that can restructure Nigeria is an outgoing government, because the power of the Nigerian president is so vast. You know, it's almost a celestial level sort of power, and we saw it under Buhari now. And this is what they are all chasing. So nobody under their own turn will whittle down their power, you know. So they want all of that power to themselves so they can be godlike. But if you're outgoing, then you can do it. But if you're incoming with still a lot of years to go, you want all those powers to yourself. So you are not going to restructure.
If they continue, if they don't do the needful, where it is just more, what they are seeing now is child play. I can tell you that. If they don't do the needful, what they are seeing right now, it is child play to what is going to come. It is just what we have seen. This thing, the way we are governing ourselves, it is not working. It is time to do away with this nonsense constitution. If they don't do it, what they are seeing now right now is child play to what is going to come. So he is going to get advice from the northern part of Nigeria, where some people have been commenting that if it is a Muslim doesn't really matter.
All right. But before you go to that space, because I was taking to that space next, but before you go to that space, Baba Kure, let me acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat, which is pointing in your direction. And it is to that space about the Nigerian educational system and the cheating that goes on. So Alexander super chat says, Baba Kure, I can attest to your observation. In my days in the 70s, 6As was extremely tough. Oshibanjo, yes. So Baba Kure, I can attest to your observations. In my days in the 70s, 6As was extremely tough. Oshibanjo got 6As in Igbobi College, Lagos. He was brilliant. Shoyika graduated with a 3rd class. Unbelievable. So a lot of people, they see, thank you for the super chat, Alexander. A lot of people, they see Tinubu, they see Shoyika rather, when you talk about intelligence and education in Nigeria, they see Shoyika as the very gold standard of that, especially when he won a Nobel Prize. But this guy actually graduated with a 3rd
class.
You know, yes, you know Gani Fawemi, when you're talking about law in Nigeria, the first name you speak of is Gani Fawemi. He graduated with a pass.
You can imagine pass.
With a pass. So,
but now,
you know, so there it is. But now everybody is a PhD holder.
Yes, professor.
Before you are born.
Professor,
you know?
Professor. I think you're Professor Antiro.
Yes. So there it is. So to that space, thank you for the super chat, Alexander. So to that space, Baba Kure, Tinubu, he says he already knows who his vice presidential candidate will be. And the list of names, they're saying he's going to pick from the northern governors that supported him to get the ticket. So pretty much 100% of the northern governors that did support him, they're all Muslims. But and that push that we don't want a Muslim ticket is usually often most loudest within the Yoruba space. So with the Yoruba now getting their son to run with a good chance at the seat, are they going to set aside that narrative of, are they going to look the other way if he picks a Muslim? Is the question, Baba Kure.
Thank you very much for that question. I think Tinubu choosing only made from the northern part of Nigeria. A few days ago, we'll be talking about this. It is a lot of headache, because who is that Christian politician that well known in northern part of Nigeria that is going to be his running mate? So that is a big issue for him in that aspect. But now what is going to happen is that I'm not going to say that Yoruba will not vote for him. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that Tinubu was a Muslim until maybe last year or year before the last. Before, I never knew. So, which means to me, it doesn't really play that kind of Muslim and stuff like that. And as a matter of fact, you will see that Muslim
Rabak,
in
well, you don't
Yoruba,
know his first name.
well, that doesn't
No,
really
no,
matter.
hold on, hold on.
I have
Hold
a
on,
friend.
Rabak,
I have a
correct.
friend that his name is Brian Moore and is a Christian.
Maybe he converted. There's no way.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
His name is Rotimi and he's an Igbo man.
I mean, Tinubu's first name is Ahmed now. Maybe you didn't know his first name. Right. Maybe that's why you didn't know that.
It could be like.
But the Tinubu, that name, the last name, Tinubu overshadowed that Ahmed. A lot of people doesn't even know his first name.
That is true.
Yeah.
But look at Obasanjo, Aremu, Obasanjo, and some people are saying that Obasanjo was a Muslim. I never knew that too. But eventually, he just got to one church now. Maybe he's godfather of that church now. One of this white garment church. I don't know. Let me just put that aside. But the issue of Tinubu, I don't really think is going to play issue of a Muslim card or whatever. And as a matter of fact, you will know that Muslim in southern part of Nigeria, they are like liberal. I will put that way. Not much of them are so that rigid-minded. So I think it will still get a lot of
and
voting.
The wife is a Christian. His wife is a Christian. He's a pastor too.
I think with that, he's going to get a lot of votes from Christendom, particularly now that he and Oshibanjo they are all body now.
Yes, Ojuaye.
They are both bodies now, so he will get some votes from Redeem and
it's unbelievable.
So to me, I will not really see that as a big issue for him to be voted as the president of Nigeria. Though I saw some reverend venerable online who happens to be my friend say, oh, well, they are not going to agree Muslim ticket and stuff like that. What are you going to get? There is nobody in the northern part of Nigeria that can match the vote of Christianity. I mean, what I mean is that there is nobody. I don't see anybody that can choose as a running mate who happens to be a Christian in northern part of Nigeria. And for him to get a vote from the northern part of Nigeria, I mean, to get vote from the north, much vote, he need to pick up vice from the northern part of Nigeria, because ATIKU is going to pick up vice from the east.
ATIKU has picked Wiki.
Oh, has it? When did that break? Let me check.
I got the news from a news platform this morning.
This morning? Yeah. I've not seen that yet. Okay, go on.
So it's going to be a very big battle. So he needs somebody, the strong candidate in the northern part of Nigeria, at least to break down the vote in the north. Otherwise, he gone Gwaza. We call something Gwaza. Otherwise, he gone Gwaza.
Gwaza. Wait, what was that one? Is that one of the Caribbean languages you picked up?
Exactly.
Look at this one. No, for Tinubu to have his best chance, I think he must go with somebody like Governor Zulum. Everybody likes Governor Zulum, you know. Mm-hmm. The Northerners like him, the Southerners like him, everybody likes him. You know, so forget Muslim. Nobody cares about that.
I think two of them will be better, because I think both of them are like a liberal Muslim.
Yes, so and Tinubu is a fiery sort of character, and Governor Zulum is a steady, quiet sort of man. So you need that, so, you know. You can't go with REFINARIES now, and they will be fighting every day.
No. But I do hope that if eventually he pick Zulum as his running mate, and they eventually win the election, and I do hope that Zulum is not going to change to this type of person that irate individual that usually want Muslim, everything Muslim and domination and stuff like that. I hope it's not going to change to that. But the way we see him, I think is a liberal Muslim.
All right, brilliant. So yes, Alexander Kashe just sent in confirmation that Wike has been picked. 2023, PDP presidential candidate ATIKU to name Wike as running mate report. So that is to name, not has named. A former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has said Rivers Governor Yemson Wike may be named as his running mate in the 2023 general election. So we'll continue to monitor that until it is categorical. But thank you, Baba Akure. Let's go on from you, Baba Akure, and let's go on to Ajanle Koko and have him pick it up from that crime and punishment space, a class of 3. Or I wonder if they still tie them to a barrel as they used to do at Bar Beach. But however and whatever, the crime, the punishment to match the crime, so the life to be ended as they ended another person's life. What are you then making then, Ajanle Koko, of this verdict that has come out of Odo? Our passionate daughter, she rests in peace at last.
Good morning, woman. Everybody on the platform and to our listeners around the world. Let me first of all urge everybody listening to us to please click on the like button so that we can help the YouTube algorithm of the platform. Subscribe if you have not subscribed as well. So as intending to join the platform, click on the like button. Woman, you see the issue of Baba Fasanoti's death. We still feel the pain. Now that the judicial process have gone through for how many years now, I want to believe that they caught the right people. And, they deserve to be eliminated. You see, we have to be courageous to do the right thing. This idea of putting people that commit murder in life sentence or life imprisonment, I don't buy it. We should be courageous to take criminal out of our society. The law of Nigeria is categorical that death sentence is what await a murderer. So the murderer were caught, they were put through court process.
Ajanle Koko, your system is not really coming through as normal.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay. I said the a murderer was caught. They were caught, were put through a court process, and the judge believed, was convinced that they committed the crime, and the law is very clear. They have to be terminated. So it's a welcome development to me. And they are Fulanis. The Tinubu back then, with his act of stupidity, when he went there, was saying, where are the Fulanis? And then some of those people were caught that Fulanis. He didn't say anything since then, up to date. So I believe that Nigerian security system can really work if they really want to work, and they are pushed to work. They can work well. The same the court. Nigerian court judges are not, they can't just sign anybody to death easily like that without having been convinced by the prosecutor. So I believe that they were convinced, they saw all the evidences, and that is why they reached that judgment that the criminals must be terminated. So it's a welcome development to me. And if we are courageous to get some of these people arrested and take them through the court process and give them the right judgment. I think that will save us a lot. We need to terminate them. We don't need to put them in any what do you call this?
For them to be eating at the taxpayers' expense and getting medical services and whatnot.
Yeah, eating at the expense. Yeah, eating at the taxpayer. No, we don't need it.
So at least that will send the signal then that if you do it, this is what awaits you when the law catches up with you, which it will. So this is the signal that we must be sending.
Yes, it's not applicable to only the what do you call it, the terrorists, but also some criminals in our society. Any criminals that committed a murder crime, I mean, they should not be mercy for them. Let them go through. Let their own family go through the pains that they put the family of the person they killed went through as well. So it's we have to be firm as a society when it comes to law. If you are not firm on the implementation of the law, that means we won't ever get our society upright, you know. So I welcome it. It's a good development to me, and the government should make more effort.
Can I cut you off a bit?
All right. Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I know you. I believe you live in the U.S., so you know the reason why they don't use the death penalty, because
they use it in the U.S.
Yeah, but it's state by state, and even in those states where they use it, it's still subject to a lot of scrutiny. So, and they don't just go direct at it. You know, the reason why they don't use this death penalty is because after maybe many years, the truth might eventually come out that the person who has undergone the court process and finally found guilty might be the wrong person. Maybe the person next to him should have been convicted. By that time, the person next to him maybe would have died natural death. That is why they don't use this death penalty. Because even if 5 people go to kill somebody, their sentences differ, because the person that strikes the person is different from the person that held the weapon. It's different from the person that stood by and made it happen. You understand? There are different sentences. That is why.
Right, you've broken off. But carry on, Ajale Koko.
Well, hey.
Look at this guy. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I'm.
You dipped out. Yeah. But I think we got to the gist of what you meant. But X0, do you think that the Yoruba space, especially, they care about what you've just said, or what really interests them is to hear that names like Awalu Abubakar, Mohammed Chewu, and Adamu are going to get that punishment? So they I'm not sure that they especially care that Abubakar or Shehu or Adamu were either the people or not, but those names are the names that they especially want paying a price. So do you think that those names just satisfies them, irrespective of guilt or not? We can't ish, you know, go to a better spot. I think you're moving around.
Do you hear me clearly?
Well, a little bit, but carry on. Did you hear me?
Yeah,
you are the one. Maybe I should.
I'm not dipping. You are the one dipping and he fell out. But Ajale Koko, what I was putting to him, do you think the Yoruba space especially cares if the right people were caught, or that those names like Abubakar, Shehu? Do you think the name satisfies them enough, and they are not really paying attention if they were exactly the right people or not? Do you think they just wanted that ethnic space to pay a price?
Well, a lot of people in our place will not even bother about the name, whether it's Abubakar or no Abubakar. But as long as the law enforcement can put it forward, those that committed the crime and that'll be enough. I don't think it's the name that really matter, but you know, the person that committed the crime that I believe that really matter to people. It's not the name, whether Abubakar or Johnson or Oriola or Kechuku. It doesn't really matter to our people. So it's not the name that really matter, but the perpetrator of the crime. That as long as the law enforcement can get some people arrested and put them, you know, before the camera and before the court, you know, and take them through prosecution. That's what really matters to people. It's not the name, as far as I know.
All right, brilliant. So, did you want to add on to what you were saying, X0, before I move Ajale?
Yes. I was saying, Ajale Koko lived in the US. I think he has stayed there more than 10 years, so he should know that the reason why they don't use death sentence is because you might find somebody guilty today, and maybe 25 years later, when evidences are now very clear, you now find that the person was actually innocent. Maybe he was just around the scene of the crime. You know, you cannot tell me that 20 people go to kill somebody and it's all the 20 people that either used the gun. There must be somebody who shot the fatal bullet. That's the person who has the highest sentence. And the people around who are assisted have lower sentences. But if you condemn someone to death, and then it was actually the next person to him that actually shot the person, then you have, you know, the law has failed to serve its purpose. The law should be the last hope of the common man. That is why it must.
I think you are talking about guilty by association. Is that what you're talking about? Guilty by association.
Yes. So if you cannot give somebody a death sentence for guilt by association. You understand? They carry different sentences. You cannot, and even some people are not even associated, and maybe they were just, you know, the way our Nigerian law enforcement are. There's no limit to the kind of corruption that you can see in Nigeria, where people who are not even involved in a crime, just because of the virtue of their ethnicity or something, they just rounded up together, and no matter their plea, nobody listens.
No, that was the question. Sorry, X0. That was the question I was putting to Ajale Koko. And I think George is actually saying this is more of a Nigerian thing, but the Yorubas are taking personal ownership of it. And I was saying that, do people even necessarily care if these people are guilty or not? But they are just satisfied that it's some Abubakar that's been sentenced. So they just
there should be no room for laziness when it comes to the life of a person. That's the last place you can be about. You must do your findings, and even if you get your evidences seem like it is the person, if you are not 100% sure, let that person still be in prison or let him go if you don't have any evidence.
All right. Let's hear from Ife. Okay. Ife, you wanted to come in,
Yeah. I will only accept X0's explanation or opinion if we want to first of all look at the intent of what is happening. You see, your explanation goes in form of let's say a criminal that comes to the house, a thief or somebody who is into crime. The people that came are coming on a terrorism ground in terms of they are not doing it first for any monetary gain or for any self-validation. They are coming, seeing you as the next person, as an infidel. And in their own interpretation, an infidel has to be killed. It's not as if they are going to put you in a prison to look at, do you want to, what's it called?
No, I don't think this is, sorry, Ife, I don't think this is an infidel space. I think this is more a crime space. So they were just, they were kidnappers. They were kidnappers.
They came into the church and started shooting everybody.
No, it's not the over space. We're talking about the fashion. Hold on, by X0. We're talking about the fashion daughter incident. So the people who carried out that crime, they have been caught. They were caught, but the verdict has now come in, and the court has now given them a death penalty. So that's what we're discussing, not the Owo incident.
Okay.
And
So
just to add to this,
okay.
the rush for this death penalty makes me smell a rat. There is
The rush.
Yes, you know why?
Over 2 years to get to the verdict.
Yes. No. I will give you a reason why I said that. Papa Shonratin, before his daughter's death, was known to have made a comment that was rather considered kind of an insult to the Fulani. He said something that they will not accept that we cede our land and stuff like that in that direction. Not longer than 2 months after that, his daughter was killed. A lot of people felt this was to silence him or to tell him that, look, we have power, we will deal with you. You understand? So the rush to put these people to justice only makes me want to feel like
there's no. Now hold on.
It's 3 years, Rush.
It's 3 years. It's 3 years a rush.
No.
What are you talking about?
You know why? You know why I said this? They have not told us. We have not heard anything about people around this organization. All of a sudden, we're just going to death penalty. Why? What is the motive? The motive is not just crime.
Zero.
What are you talking about, man?
Zero. Let me
She was not. Listen. She was not the only one.
Hold on now.
Please hold on. Let me just. She was not the only one in that car. That's
right.
One. Two. This thing happened in the road where no one would have seen those who were responsible for this. So how did they come about the people?
Hold on. Well, there you are. There were survivors of that incident who came and narrated the people that did the thing. Then the police commissioner then, was it Adamo or the other one? He then set up a special task force with a specialism. And then they hunted down these people and they caught them in the middle of another operation. And then they paraded them in an identity parade. And the survivors of that incident, they identified them physically. So a lot went into this space. And by the way, the burden of proof for a capital punishment is almost categorical guaranteed. It's not a judgment that any judge would just willy-nilly give out or politically give out. So there will be sufficient enough of
Then again, I just want one more information. We need to know who sent these guys, because I don't think they were working in isolation.
What do you mean they were? They were criminals. They were bandits. They were kidnappers. They were for-profit chancers. So it wasn't. I'm not sure if we are wanting to add, because they caught them in the middle of committing yet another robbery, banditry, kidnapping thing. So that was their stock in trade.
All right, if you say so.
No, that's what they said. That's not me saying, but
no, that's what they said.
Yeah.
This is a corrupt nation we are talking about. So if that's what they said, we need to still find out more, because I believe there's still more to be said. That's all I want to say.
All right, brilliant. What piece you wanted to go? You wanted to come in, and I'll go back to back.
Yeah. Zero. What happened that time? That our Benin Road was very rampant for this bandit. What they do, their signature of robbery, then they'll come to the middle of the road and start shooting. They'll use the first car, regardless of inside the car, shoot the first bit inside the car there to stop the rest of the car and kidnap who they want to kidnap or rob who they want to rob. Pastor Sharati's daughter was just unfortunate. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was shot dead to stop other people, they kidnap and all that. Then, because of Pastor Sharati, there was a lot of force and force from Nigerian space. You know, Nigerian, as one guy said just now in this platform, Nigerian police want to work, they can really work. So they went into action and they caught these people in action. And I told you just now, one of the people they caught was Meitala, deputy manager of Ondo. They caught them with weapon and everything, and they confessed. So there was no rush to it. Even Showore brother was killed like that in Okada. Early morning, he's going to school, coming from school. He was shot dead to stop other cars. It was happening in Benin. That Benin especially, at that time, was very rampant. So there's no motive about it, Zero, and I don't put anything like tribe or whatever motive or Fulani You understand?
Well, let's accept that this is what
Yeah,
it is for now, but
and
still leave it open. Let's still
what
leave it open.
and one piece to add to what you said, these people are people like they either come for your money or for your life. It's not as if they want to leave you. If we
Yeah,
hear the
bro.
stories, if we hear the stories of those who have escaped from their den, it's like it's just miracle, if we want to use that term,
Yeah.
that we were able
Yeah,
to hear what they said.
Yeah,
You know,
let me quickly add one ugly scenario. There's one that happened in Auntry Road. They stopped the highest bus.
Don't be too graphical because YouTube will strike us. Yeah, but carry on.
No. They stopped the highest bus. So what they did, they stopped the highest bus middle of express. This Fulani herdsmen, these kidnappers were inside the bush. But point gun at that they should not move. The driver should not move. Then they wanted to use that bus to stop other vehicles. But unfortunately for the vehicle that was coming, it was a trailer, a truck. A heavy truck was fully loaded. They couldn't stop. And the truck crushed the bus and killed everybody inside the bus.
No. That's enough. Thank you. No, I don't think we want to hear the rest of that. Back to you, Ajanle Koko. Back to you, Ajanle Koko.
You see all this argument of this and that and no confidence in our judicial process. I think it's I don't understand it, because this trial went for about 3 years. So the judge will not just, they know what it means to sentence somebody to death. So they have concluded everything. They reach judgment that they got to be terminated, and that got to be. That is what I support. That is what I mean. I support that. The zero saying in US they do this, they do that. Yes, we have some states in US, particularly Republicans. I mean, Democrats control state that doesn't approve death sentence, just as the way they do in Canada, Babakure's country. So, but in Republican state, among who I am, they don't play. Once you commit murder, they won't terminate you immediately. It may take some years. Some can take 10 years and so. So they give room for some other information to come up, maybe that can reverse that decision. So, but they don't play. Once it's a murder case, they will terminate you, and they will announce it on the TV the very day that they are going to terminate that person. So it's a law. It's a law. We have to implement the law in order to get the society running right. So I support it. I welcome it. So that's my position, one man.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Ajanle Koko. So Ajanle Koko, for reasons of time, let me go on to Efe. And Efe, can I have you speak on the Afenifere space and the Amotekun space? So the Afenifere, they've gone to visit the scene of the incident in Owo, and they of course gifted money to the church, which seems to be what everybody's now doing. But off the back of that platform, they are re-echoing the need for Amotekun to be properly weaponized so that Yoruba land can be adequately protected. Do you think, as sad as the Owo incident was, it's an opportunity then to leverage that, to be leveraged to propel for that weaponization of Amotekun, Efe?
Good everyone. Firstly, I don't think they would be able to get an approval for that under this government. And another thing I would actually need to point out is that if the security agencies in the country have not been infiltrated by the bad eggs, I'm very sure we would not have any reason for Amotekun. So I don't think they would be able to get their approval, even if Tinubu becomes the president. It's actually very good to push, but still don't think we are humans. We are human beings. We will tend to misbehave, and I'm very sure um, what they are just trying to avoid is the tendency to misbehave. Aside aside those people who are actually in government assisting these terrorists in carrying out their operation, if we should eliminate those ones, I don't think they would get the necessary armory to face these terrorists, because it is everyone's belief, even the police, they misbehave with their weapons sometimes. And I could tell you because I schooled in Ekiti, Federal University Ekiti, and I had the privilege of knowing um, those some of these Amotekun people, and I get to know gotten to see them in action and all that, and I see this tendency of misbehavior. There was a day I was driving to Kwara State, and I this Amotekun, they were doing this patrol. If not for the army emblem they saw in my car, they would probably have parked me, saying that I should have, when I had the siren, I should have just gone off the road, a road that is under construction. They saw the army emblem and they just kept quiet and they drove off. So I don't think they would give them. I'm not sure they would be able to leverage for such. But it's actually very good to push. Actually very good to give a try. But
But
even
what you're saying is a matter of training, isn't it? That's not a reason not to have them. That's a
it's a
matter
matter
of
of
training.
training. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
matter of training. Yes, it's a matter
yeah.
of training. A very high military training. Well, I still, I doubt, but it's good to actually give a try. But I doubt if they would be given that leverage to to actually carry. They can actually
Do you
limit
think they
their.
should be? Do you think they should be given the proper weapons?
Yes, considering the current situation of the country, I think they should be given proper weapon. Considering the current situation of the country, they should be given proper weapon. Considering that's just the factor, the current security situation of the country. But aside that, I don't think if the security issue is solved, I don't think Amotekun should carry the necessary weapon.
You don't think security should be localized and regionalized?
No, no, I think so. I think so. Security should be localized and regionalized, but it still depends on a very high training. Let me use the word very high training. State policing, it's actually very okay. It will solve a lot. It will solve a lot, but still depends on training. We Nigerians now. We know how we behave. Once that G factor aside God, which is gone, is with a man, there is always this tendency to misbehave. So I believe in state policing. I believe I
Because
believe.
you see your experience with Amotekun, as you've narrated, and there's similar experiences as well. We've done here stories of Amotekun accosting young females in places like Kondo and harassing them about not being appropriately dressed. So they get carried away with that uniform. But I
Yes,
think
yes,
I think that is a matter of training and
yes. If they are given,
yeah, yeah.
if they are given the right training, yes, they should be. Everything is just about reform. If they are properly reformed, if just the same way the police is reformed, we would not have issues with the police. If the police is well reformed and giving them a well proper training, we would not have issues with all this police harassment and all that. The same way if Amotekun is being reformed, I think it was just a rush. That's just it. It was a rush because I knew somebody that applied then, because they gave each um king. Then because my campus is in Ikole engineering, they gave each king, because there was about 10 to 15 kingdoms in that Ikole. They gave each king about two slot or so, and they produced. So I know of someone that actually what does the person does? The person does he do carry this trumpet. When anytime there's this funeral, he sings along the coffin and all that. And within just a space of 1 month, we discovered he was not around. By the time we come back after 1 month, he was all dressed in a Amotekun uniform. And I was wondering, within this very short period of time, you have now, and I see him with this pump action sometimes. So, and there's always this.
So there's no training process, not anything
the training
from
was just,
from
it
a
was just too,
trumpeter to a.
it was just too quick. It was just too quick. So for them to give them a weapon, they need to just take them for a proper training, even probably 6 months and all that. Proper training and orientation. This will help. It will help a lot because most of them, they are illiterate, and you see that illiteracy tends to have an effect. So they should actually be given some.
How can an illiterate enforce law? That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Most of them are illiterate, and the person I'm talking about never went to school, can't speak English, never went to school, never saw the four corners of a classroom, and is in Amotekun through his lot. So
all right. Now you see, that's still one of the remnants of the things that we're carrying within the Nigerian space. All this slotting of key positions to people who have no qualifications, but or maybe have qualifications but not suited to the task, but because of they are the nephew, son, daughter of XYZ, they are slotted to where their skill set does not match, like you've just described yet again. FA.
Yeah. Please come again. My network actually went off.
No, I was just saying what you were saying about all these minor obas who essentially are barless. They were giving slots to pick two people to join Amotekun. So I'm saying that this is one of the remnants of this vestige of corrupt practices that are holding the country back.
Exactly.
Where people that are not qualified for positions are given those positions by virtue of being son, daughter, XYZ of ABC, and then they go into where their skill sets do not match, and then of course they're not then able to put in a performance. So it's a real big problem. All this because it just struck me when you said that. Yeah,
it's a big problem in this country. Even aside the security sector, in every sector, is a very, very big problem. Very big problem. If you want to get a job, it's connection. Even Babakure was saying something about WAEC and university now. University now, you just need to know somebody that is in the registrar office, that works with the VC, that is a close friend with somebody that is a close friend with the VC, and boom, you have been given admission. So this corruption doesn't even start with the government. It starts with those people at the grass level, and it's really affecting us. So sometimes
it's endemic within the Nigeria. Corruption is something that will never leave Nigeria. It's endemic. It's in the DNA of every Nigerian.
That's why I always say I would never blame a politician for corruption, because even we ourselves, we are corrupt.
If you go to the ministry, you have to lubricate the janitor to get into the office. You have to lubricate the secretary to get to the boss. You have to lubricate the boss to get what you want to do done. So as soon as you hit any ministry, you are parting with money from the gate man. Before the gate man lets you in, you have to part with 500 naira.
Funny enough, let me say a side of my own corrupt story. When I was trying to get my passport, my international passport, I actually had to pay a fee for fast tracking to quickly get it. And within 2 weeks after my capture, my passport was ready. I paid the extra fee, doubled the amount just to get my passport. So it's everywhere. It's in every ministry, every agency, even down to the private sector, not just the government again, even down to the private sector, which is it's like a pandemic. It's like COVID in this country. It's a serious pandemic, and
it's in the blood.
That issue cannot actually be solved in a very quick time, probably except if poverty.
But there's no incentive to stop it, and there is no moral advantage. There's no moral righteousness to stop it. because all the people that have the powers to stop it, they are more corrupt than the people that are the lower runches of society that are taking their own slice. So you have to come to with clean hands in order to say you're coming to tackle corruption. So there's no moral imperative that anybody has to end corruption in Nigeria.
Yes, yes, you're very right, sir. You're very right, sir. It's just I would say again, it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. Everybody,
Oh,
Can I
almost everyone.
interject, please?
all right. Is that Joe?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Faye. So interject, Joe, and I want to come on to you. So interject, and then I'll
All right.
put you.
Yeah.
Go on.
Like you know, in Nigeria, it's like we are always in a hurry, and that is why even the law enforcement agents, they use that opportunity to extort. Now, what Efe paid for the passport, it couldn't have been corruption, assuming it's embedded in the policy of that department, because you can call that express. Take, for instance, if you want to, even here, if you want to take a coach or maybe train from one point to the other, if you don't want any stopover or exchange, you pay extra money. If you want you don't want any cancellation, you pay lesser. So because it's already in their policies, there was a time I was moving from Southampton to Newcastle, and I didn't know. I just took that, they call that one cross country. It took me over 10 hours because it went almost from one city to another. So because I paid less. So if I want to pay, if I pay, is already in the policy. So what am I saying is, it could have been better if those things are already embedded, rather than for someone to just be taking that money and putting it in his pocket. So thank you.
All right, thank you. So, and thank you, Efe. So, Efe, for reasons of time, let me stay with Joe and have you speak then on the final conclusion of the Parfashionati case as something that we had perhaps not forgotten but put in the back of the mind just because so many things are happening. But it looks as though now they are saying justice has now been served, a sentence has been passed. But somebody was just hinting that Nigerian governors, they recall from signing off that death penalty sort of thing. But nevertheless, a verdict has come in now. Does that close that chapter and does that satisfy you, Joe?
Yeah, for the time being, that will close the chapter. But the point is, how many people are on death row? And for years, maybe 10, 11 years. Was it not 2 weeks ago when a guy was just released after 11 years? So he was, now, until when, maybe, was it a lawyer without border that have to fight for him? So, like this one, they may just be in jail for a while, because I'm not too sure if any governor will just be in a hurry to sign that. So, but I think 3 years is not bad for the judgment to come to come now. It's not too early.
I mean, from investigation to verdict, I think 3 years is within a space like Nigeria.
It's not in a rush. I don't know who was. Someone was saying that they could have asked them about their sponsor.
That's acceptable. He's always looking
they
for a
will never
conspiracy
mention
in
their
anything.
sponsor, because most of them, they've taken oath, so they will never mention. They prefer to just die and let it go.
All right. And the Amotekun space, the Afenifere organization, they are trying to leverage the sad incident that happened in a war to bring to the front burner again their Amotekun narrative, and to say that Amotekun must be properly equipped in order for them to serve a purpose. citing that if they were properly equipped, that what happened in the war would have been averted. Do you then agree with them leveraging that incident to push this political agenda?
Well, yeah, we discussed about that yesterday,
Hmm.
that they actually need to be properly trained. And we know that if they are properly trained, maybe when we have um, the next government, they will be able to translate directly to state police because they were not properly trained. I remember maybe it was last year when some guys were killed in Ibadan simply because they were shooting and maybe because they were not properly trained, they just gunned down some people. Now, well, sorry for the language. So, so it is a good thing, but I don't think that will happen in this dispensation, that in this government. It may happen when we have the next government, but for this one, they can push, but I doubt it because one of the reasons is we're in the season of election now or campaigning, so that one will be at the we still stay somewhere because all the government now or the governors, all they will be doing is just how to campaign for their party. So they will push that aside until when they have won or lost. So that is when that can come up again. But I
And
don't think that will happen now.
And to Tinubu say that he already knows his running mate, and the speculation is that he's going to pick from one of the northern governors that supported him to get the ticket, all of them to 100% of the same faith as him. So a Muslim ticket. Do you think the southerners, especially the southwest, will forgive a Muslim ticket just to have their son in with a chance?
Well, I'm sure 1993 is not the same as 2023. It will be a bit difficult for it to fly. Even before Tinubu got the ticket, I've been thinking about it that it will be difficult to get a Christian from North that will be acceptable. If you look at, was it Dogara, Yakubu Dogara from Bauchi State, he came from a very small minority, which definitely it may not really fly. When you talk about maybe Mustafa, or
But
is also a
Mustafa,
Christian, but does he have any any candidate?
what about
Can he pull?
Babache Lawan? He's also a
Yeah,
Christian. Yeah.
Babache Lawan, I think, is also from northeast, but I don't know if those can
But these
really
guys are
pull.
not, they are not governors.
And yeah, exactly. So
They are not governors.
it will be difficult, and almost all the northern governors, apart from Lalong, almost all the northern governors are Muslim. So it may not really fly. We may look at El Rufai did it, but who knows whether that is the reason why there are a lot of problems over there now? Because it may be a bit difficult.
Where do you think
Actually,
the objection will come from for the Muslim ticket?
it will come from the south, and also from, remember, it will come from the south, it will come from middle belt, it will also come from, that is from southwest, then the south generally, and the middle belt, definitely.
And you think the southwest would make a big cry of a Muslim ticket to frustrate Tinubu's chances to be president?
Well, you know, they were the one that actually caused all this mess when Sharaki suggested that, oh,
Muslim ticket will not fly simply because of his own personal interest. So looking at it that, if they have Muslim, and he was aiming at being...
But that is Tinubu narrative. Oh. We cannot totally believe that. I don't want to totally believe his narrative.
Sir,
yeah.
Let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
Assuming there were Muslim tickets under Buhari, and then Saraki became the speaker, or sorry, the president of the Senate, what do you think will happen? So it will be three of them. The first three highest posts will go to the Muslim. That will have a effect, definitely. So
if Tinubu is very sensitive to that argument, then for him not to offer himself for the vice and he choose Oshibajo, so why can't he be sensitive to that same argument now to pick a Christian from the north?
Because sorry, that argument is counterweighted by him being a Yoruba man.
They can't pick anybody from the south, and anyone from the north may not have much weight. He may risk it, yes, he may risk it by picking a Muslim just to be able to counter the weight of ATIKU in the north, because he knows that, okay, in the south, he will be able to pull weight. But in the north, if he chooses a Christian there, there's possibility that he may depend, because anybody that is coming as VP must be able to also pull weight. So you can't pick someone that will not have any base at all. So the person must
it will only work if it's a Muslim for Tinubu. I can't say any, because they have there's no strong Christian in the north.
Yeah, that's the only way he can pull weight.
I believe we will get a backlash from the south as well, because the Christians leader will stand up against it. And the Christians in the south will stand up against it.
I'm not sure about
I'm
not sure about that. This is what is going to play out. The same way they waited for PDP to do their primary, they will wait for PDP to announce Wike. Now, this is it. Wike and Obi will split the South. Tinubu owns the Southwest. If then Tinubu picks a very strong Northerner, forgetting the religion, as his vice, somebody like Zulu, he will clear the North. He will sweep off the North easily.
No, Zulum has already indicated that he doesn't want to.
Don't worry,
Yes.
he can be persuaded. Don't worry.
He can be
persuaded. But
yes,
if
I'm
not,
sure they won't take
even if not
Wike.
so,
No.
They're
someone like
already
Wike,
indicating that they will, though, because
Wike will be out of the. You will see, Wike will be out of the equation.
One man. Have you forgotten the Kano State governor?
Ganduje.
He's a strong Tinubu. Yeah,
it'll be a perfect fit. Yes.
Yes, Ganduje is also someone that is very strong. Also, he's a strong. Can pull that force in the north. So they will just wait for PDP to announce an Easterner, of which they will do as the vice. Then
and Ganduje is an acceptable face, so because he's not an extremist, he's an educated man.
Yes.
But with his corrupt dollars talking in his pocket, they will carry out that video now. This is APC. This kind of people that you want to vote be your vice president. And if anything happened to Tinubu, this is the way he'll be talking dollars in his pocket, taking bribe as the president of Nigeria. You see, a lot of things going to go into play, and look. Somebody can say, "Oh, if they pick Muslim, you can sweep the north." What is ATIKU not a northerner?
ATIKU is not loved in the north.
Oh God! Wait until then. Oh yes, okay.
I think.
Do you know that last election in 117 states, And Buhari was the incumbent there, 119. You said it's not love in the north? In 119 state, in the last election.
In one state, as a result of
when it comes to
Buhari's
power, look,
administration.
tribal this thing play prominent role, whether you like it or not. He is connected to the power that be
about the last
in the north.
council elections in Abuja? The last council elections in Abuja, PDP swept everything.
Yeah,
all
yes.
because of
Always
APC
held,
administration.
I've always held Abuja though.
Yeah.
But when we used to have, go on, yeah.
Effie, can Effie hear me?
Yeah, we cannot hear you.
I can.
Okay. Yeah, you said Tinubu will get the West, right?
Yes, you will.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
And do you think everybody likes Tinubu in the West?
He's a Yoruba man.
When you're talking about the
Southwest,
Southwest, when you're talking about the Southwest,
they are not talking
the
about
Southwest
like
majorly
okay, so Atiku is not a Fulani man.
Hold on. Yeah,
so,
Atiku is not a Fulani man.
You just answer the question for me.
Okay.
Atiku is not Fulani man.
It's not a Fulani man, right?
It's a minority tribe now. Fulani are minority tribes.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If Tinubu not minority in Osun, he's not Osun. He's not minority.
He's a Yoruba man.
Is it bigger than Ogun and Ibadan? Doesn't matter. Yoruba is not.
Hold on. Osun is not an ethnicity.
One man, the vice president that Tinubu will pick, that is going to be a Muslim, go and mark it down, is going to be a Fulani man as well. So
no,
what is going to be?
It has to be, but because he is weighing it against Atiku. But what Ife is saying, is it Ife? Can you correct if we're not pronouncing your name right properly, please?
Efe.
So
what
Efe? Yeah. All right. So what Efe is saying, which I can see the logical strand to that, is that they will jettison the southwest, the southeast, because you know that politics is outside of Tinubu's reach somewhat. But Tinubu knows that he will hold the Yoruba space. And I don't think the Yorubas will say because he has picked some Muslim, they are not going to vote for him when they want a Yoruba man in Aso Rock. So he will hold the Yoruba space and pick a Muslim ticket to go and a Muslim running mate to go and use that running mate to fight in the north.
The Christians will come out strongly against them, against that nomination, that what is our place in this government. Yoruba Christian, with their Christian loyalty, the can will campaign strongly against them. Go and mark it down.
So they'll go and vote for ATIKU in protest? Because they'll go and vote for ATIKU in protest. What will they do? What will they do?
They will see, what do you call it? PDP could be an option that they carry Christian along. Religion play a very big role in our politics.
The Yoruba Christian will go and vote for ATIKU in protest because Tinubu picked
one man.
You think it cannot happen?
Yeah, go on. Let's hear from you.
One more. Yes, please. One man. I don't like the way you exclude the third force. You're talking about Christians voting against Tinubu, and you are forgetting. If I say now, you say I'm talking. You are forgetting Peter Obi. Okay, I will not talk again.
What do you mean? You have spoken that? What do you mean you spoken that? But I wasn't forgetting Peter Obi. But
you are saying Christians will not vote ATIKU, but you know who Christians want to vote. You know who the enlightened want to vote. You know who the young people want to vote.
Okay, so let me put forget all of that. Let me put the question that I put to Ajanle Koko to you. Would the Yoruba Christian, for anger that Tinubu picked a Muslim running mate, go and vote for Peter Obi, the Yoruba Christian?
That's what I'm telling you. That one.
I'm asking you. What do you think?
Do your research.
What do you think? It's not any. What do you think? What do you think?
I'm backing this with evidence that some churches have even started to tell their members to go this direction of Peter Obi, and most of the churches in the south.
Yeah, no. That's different now. That's a different. But I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me put the question to you so that you understand what I'm asking. Will a Yoruba Christian that favors that a Yoruba person should be president, for anger that Tinubu picks a Muslim running mate, go and vote for Peter Obi?
I don't like that question, please.
No, but that's where the conversational space is. That's the conversation.
Well,
one man, 1 minute.
So that's why we're saying that
one man
will hold Yoruba land. It will hold
one
Yoruba
man.
land now.
If the church step in and campaign hard against Tinubu nomination of Muslim as vice president, it will go a long way in Yoruba land to cut short his vote from Yoruba people.
And where will that vote go to?
I don't know, but we cut short. Hold on, one man. Hold on, one man. Hold on, no. Where is going to go? That is not our problem. But what I'm saying, if we cut short, it will go either ATIKU or Obi, one of the two.
So for reasons of voting, ATIKU is a Muslim.
Yes, if we go, and you know that ATIKU is well connected to Christian in the south too. Do you know that? Do you know that his winners is the church of the winners leader? I can't remember the name of that man, but I know that all of us know that man. The leader of the winners is the one. Oyedepo was the one carrying ATIKU around in the last election. So ATIKU is connected to the Christians, to the Christian leader in the south as well. So look, if Tinubu made that campaign to make that mistake, if Christian leaders jump out and said no, we are not accepting this, and they campaign hard against him, it will cut short his vote, and that will not be good
but
for
you are not saying where the vote is going to. So saying
I told you, ATIKU is connected to them. They can say, okay, Wike is a Christian.
The Yoruba man is not going to vote for ATIKU to the detriment of Tinubu.
Someone they can actually easily assess in the House of Rock. It's not about religion. They will vote for somebody they can go into the office in the House of Rock and say, my King, this is what I want. This is what we want. That is one of the biggest problems they had with Buhari. They could not access Buhari. If they vote ATIKU, they will not be able to access him. But once they have Tinubu there, he's from Yoruba.
You guys are undermining the power of the Christianity in Yoruba land today. You're undermining it.
Joe wants to come in. Joe, was that you, Joe?
Yes. I think we were just talking about Peter Obi. Have we also forgotten that Peter Obi will need
a Muslim North?
A Muslim North too. And which will likely be a Fulani.
Yes.
So, what are we talking about? It's likely that Tinubu may just risk it and damn the consequences.
It's a risk worth taking now because the Yoruba would not vote against him because he has picked a Muslim. They will not. They will not now. They want a Yoruba man in the seat, and he's a Yoruba man. So the
way I say it, if West will vote for the West, the North will vote for the North, the East will vote for the East, and the South will vote for anybody they want to vote for.
This is it. So
why don't we just go on our own?
Yeah, see, Peter Obi, we like it or not, let's call it. ATIKU is going to hold the North. Tinubu is going to hold West. Peter Obi is going to hold the East. We South will vote anywhere we feel like, okay, maybe ATIKU or Peter Obi or Tinubu. It's not going to be. This election, I said before, it's going to be very tribal and religious. Very tribal and religious.
You say the Christian Association will make a lot of noise. As they open that noise to make noise, as they open that mouth to make noise, Tinubu will shove a word full of dollars in their mouth, and they will shut them out. That's just it. The same technique.
Let me say something very
all right, so there's a heavy noise coming from some. Oh, that's a zero. Sorry about that. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. I don't know if any of us saw the interview that this guy, what's the name? Jacob Mark. I think he's the attorney for PDP. And this Professor Obiozo Okonkwo, they did an analysis, and they reviewed quite a lot of things that I think will help some of us understand how this thing is going to play. But you see, the Jacob Mark himself is from the north, right? He's from Kaduna. I think he's from the southern Kaduna, the Christian side, but he's still a northerner. But I think what he was saying, he said quite a lot of things, even as regards to the
All
southeast.
right, give us a flavor of it for reasons of time. Give us a flavor of what was
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He said quite a lot, but I think what I would just point out, where is this sound coming from? Is it?
The people that are not on, can you mute your mics because your background noise then it comes carry on in CBD.
All right, so he said quite a number of things, and one of the things that really caught my attention is when Rufai asked him about Tinubu chances in the north. So the man said that even as they are speaking, that some people are already circulating. There's already a talk going around in the north that they can't go from Baba to Kaka, meaning they can't go from a father to a grandfather. So I think that and they asked him how did Tinubu penetrated and got the votes of the delegate, then he said that those are very different scenarios, and that as it is right now, that we should not forget that even 2019, like someone mentioned, I think it was Jani Koko, that ATIKU really won a lot of states in the north, a significant number of states in the north. So at the end of the day, I think it will still go, the north will definitely go for ATIKU. I don't know why we want to lie to ourselves. The one of the chances that maybe Tinubu can have is probably if he gets the whole southwest, which I feel like there will definitely be some other people voting for other candidates there, like the analysis you did the
For
other day.
Peter Obi, some people the youth
No, I
demography.
wouldn't.
No, the youth demography they will vote for Peter Obi now in the southwest.
Well, it's possible, but I'm not even looking at it as strictly for Peter Obi. Maybe some of them might decide to go for Atiku himself. You remember when you were doing that analysis of 2015, and you showed some states in the southwest gave PDP even 33%, or so it will still play out the same way. I feel like generally Tinubu will definitely come out on, he will definitely control the votes of the Southwest, but there are still some, people like Peter Obi and Atiku will still penetrate a little bit, not as much, but a little. So, and I think that maybe another place you might be looking towards might be maybe now some parts of the middle belt, which he will still not win, but he will get some votes there. But if you're talking about the core north, I don't think it's practical for us to expect Tinubu to win the core north, because if these people are already talking about it that way, circulating, all those kind of narrative.
It is not outright win now; it's make a significant inroad. So win
Yeah,
is a
that's what I'm
relative
saying.
term.
He will not make us. He can. That's what I'm saying. He will make a significant inroad. He will not win, but he can only do that, in my own opinion, or the way I understand the whole thing right now. He will make a significant inroad, probably in the north central places like Kogi, and maybe some places like Plateau, which I'm not sure, and also maybe
You know that this election will be strategic. I want to meet that 25%
Kwara.
of two-thirds. So that will be the target for a lot of those states. But then to hold spaces like Lagos and Kano, so that will also be part of the strategy. And then if
But
you sweep up all of your home base, which Tinubu has a good chance to, then it's looking like a real fight between the two of them.
I really believe that uh, as it is right now, this when we're talking about Christian, Muslim, I don't think it's. I think we are underestimating, or we are not looking at the seriousness of what it is. I think definitely nobody is ready for that Muslim narrative right now, because of number one, just where the country is right now with everything going on. Definitely, it will come in place. It will come in play.
Will the Yoruba Christian vote for Tinubu on a Muslim ticket?
Yeah,
So,
if you ask me, I think quite a number of them wouldn't consider Tinubu. I'm looking at it more of something from the other parts of the south, but in Yoruba land, I really don't see too much difference that it will make, because I feel like people will look at Tinubu as a Yoruba man first before
no, if you
relation.
look at Tinubu, if they play their card very well, uh, his wife is going to play a vital role because number one, being a pastor,
She would suddenly become Pastor Mrs.,
a
not just
pastor, they will
Pastor
have a
Mrs. Yeah.
pastor in Redeem. So, and now what will happen is if they will look at it that for him to have married uh, a Christian and even allow her to practice her faith, she will be the one that will be walking underground in the whole of Southwest. So he's going to win. And if they pick anybody from the north, they will just see, for instance, in Yoruba generally, if not because of some skirmishes here and there, they believe that Yoruba, whether you're a Muslim or Christian, is your culture first before
Exactly.
religion. So they will vote for Tinubu, and then for her to be able to do the underground work, then they can get someone from the core north that will be able to do the job over there. But it's not likely that he will pick a Christian.
It doesn't matter
All
who
right.
he picks
So,
in the
so
core north. But I feel like the core north, definitely they will, the primary is totally different from general election. These people are already circulating narratives. These people are already they're already playing that tribal politics as we are speaking right now. So I don't think that Tinubu should be looking so much at the core north. And for the Christian issue, I'm looking at more pushbacks from, like you said earlier on, Joe, from the middle belt
all right. In
and the other
Sweden,
parts of the south.
sorry, for reasons of time, let me just hear from Thomas and Solly, so that I know that every voice has spoken. So, Thomas, let's hear your thoughts on the conversation. Thomas, sorry, in CBD, it's just the pressure of time. Thomas, are you there? Solly, are you there? All right, brilliant. So thank you, gentlemen. So for pressure of time, a real interesting. So this is where the conversation is now going now. So now we're settled into who is in play. Now we are at that phase now on as to sorry. Let's hear for World Peace, who's just about to tell me that we've not heard from him. World Peace, go on.
Like you're reading of my mind.
Yeah. No, I can hear you breathe. I can hear you breathing in the background.
Your is working for you very well to read my mind. No problem.
To you, your thoughts.
Yeah, what thought of what? Please give me what you want me to talk on.
No, we'll talk about the Amotekun space or the Parafashionati daughter space, or wrap the two of them together. So off the back of what happened in Owo, the Afenifere are now pushing hard that Amotekun should get proper weapons, and the Parafashionati incident, it has run its full circle, with the court now pronouncing a death penalty on the people that they found guilty. So just brief commentary on that, so I can round off.
Yeah, may I so rest in peace. Thank God they caught those guys, and they are facing the law. Well, death penalty wasn't bad, but it's kind of the stage we are in. This is 21st century. Death penalty is not really not too good now. Okay, life imprisonment would have been better, but not like the death alternative. I mean, it's bad, but it's okay. That's for her. That of the Amotekun. Give them weapons is not a bad deal, but they should be well trained, because as if he was talking about, some of these people are just ignorant. They don't even know, they are illiterate and ignorant. They don't even know what's the meaning of law or of firearms and all that, what they're into. So by the time you give illiterate touts guns to go to the street with uniform, they will misbehave. That's why some people are pushing back on state police. If Amotekun can behave like this, like what we were seeing some few months of last year, where they were cutting people hair and all that, then you imagine when people have state police, what would they do? So it's good that you train these people. They have better knowledge of what they are going to do or what they are going into, so that the public can trust them. Then it will be good. I mean, there's not a bad thing, but training them will be the first thing. That's how I see that space, because Nigeria is getting out of hand for this killer herdsmen and bandits. You know, that's
all
it,
right.
man.
All right, brilliant, well put. So thank you, War Peace. So that was well what waiting for. So thank you, War Peace, and thank you, gentlemen, especially Efe, who joined us from Nigeria. So I especially appreciate people who do join us from Nigeria, because the network is they are burning their data to spend the time, whilst a lot of us already captures it in our whatever plan that we have with our providers. So thank you, Efe. Thank you for joining us, and thank you everyone for joining us. The panelists, all your favorite voices, they assembled today, from Joe to Baba Akure, and of course the mighty Ajanle Koko. So we reconvene for the later session to expand even more on some of these positions that were being fleshed out. In the latter session, we have more time. So like, share, and subscribe. So I'll leave it here. Carry conversation on within comment section, but here I say peace. Thank you, everyone.